morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crafting and Crime Daily. No, there was no Friday edition yesterday because I had a doctor's appointment and I have to do the whole lift thing and yeah. But I'm meeting new people. The guy that picked me up in the lift yesterday actually picked me up in a GMC Sierra. This is a truck. Like, it's huge. It was like a semi pulled up. So I thank God for those handles. So I said, I was gracious about it because, whatever. So I put my groceries down on the floor and I climbed into this Jeep GMC Sierra. Nice truck. Nice truck. Nice guy. This young. Not my not my type at all. Anyway, I digress. So I am coming to you today on a Saturday. If you want to see the Friday dance, watch till the end. I will do it. If you don't know what that is, watch to the end and you'll find out. Okay, so today I am going to bring you, it's going to be all Kowalski for the whole half an hour that I spend talking today. I am working on the Halloween gnome for my Grafgan. So far I've gotten 14 pieces to the Grafgan. I think later on today I'm going to get the panels out and start putting them together because this thing is huge. So this is the Halloween one. I'm going to kind of try to hold it up. Yes, it's a female. There's her pumpkin, her pigtails. Yeah, anyway. So, and then last night I got out everything I need for the next one, which I'm just going to go ahead and skip Thanksgiving and we're going to go right to Christmas. So we're going to do a Christmas gnome because I'm kind of tired of doing this project. This has been an entire year project and I have enjoyed it thoroughly. But it's time to move on. I'm also working on a couple of blankets. One, a lap blanket for my sister because she likes to diamond paint and she wants a lap blanket. And the other blanket I think is going to be for the cats because they really love it. So Stitch has started this new thing. I know I'm going to get to Kowalski. Just hold on. Um, he's found a little cubby hole over here. I'll put a picture here. Found a little cubby hole. And this is where he's been sleeping while I'm crafting and doing the show. He's very comfy. Just hope nothing falls down on him. He's amongst the pile. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the Kowalski case. So Kowalskis are suing Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital for basically everything. Intentional infliction of emotional distress, wrongful death, because they allegedly falsely accused Beata Kowalski, the mom in all this, of Munchausen's by proxy, or her daughter of some kind of conversion disorder, which is it's psychogenic. I'm learning all these big words. Are you impressed? Okay. And DCF took her children away, took her daughter away, had her sheltered in the hospital, and the allegation is that she was not allowed to leave. She was held captive there at the hospital. She was at that hospital for 3 months. 3 months. So the false imprisonment is just as to a certain period of time before DCF entered the shelter order. Because after that, she couldn't leave because she was a ward of the state until it was determined whether there was something going on there with mom. But then mom hung herself in January of 2017. She went into the hospital, Maya did, in October of 2016, was there until January 2017. 5 days after her mom committed suicide, they let her go. They let her go home with dad. Never took the son Kyle away because they didn't feel like he was in any danger. They believe the mom was simply manipulating the medical care for the daughter. Now, the plaintiff has put on their case, and I was pretty moved by the whole plaintiff case. But let me tell you something, the defense is up now, and they've got a good defense. Um, I'm rethinking a lot of what I thought originally. I really am. So, you guys, you wait till you hear some of this testimony. Holy moly. It's just keep an open mind. I mean, Maya's a beautiful girl, but Munchausen's by proxy is a thing. So just, I'm just saying, I don't have an opinion one way or the other. If I were a juror right now, having heard everything I've heard so far, I would not know how I was going to rule. I would not know. I really don't. Okay, so the person that took the stand, the first person I'm going to describe, the witness, is was an ARNP, Advanced Registered Nurse Practitioner. I mean, she's a nurse, but she's got an extra degree. She worked at Tampa General in the rehab department, and she has a specialty of pediatric rehab nursing. That is very specialized, very specialized. And she described that Maya's case was very frustrating for this team. It was a very frustrating case. In fact, apparently Maya at one point accused this woman of being a witch and doing witchcraft, and she said, I'm not a witch. Nope, not a witch. Then she said it seemed like the mom and child were in a battle of wills. If mom wasn't there, she did seem to do better. Maya seemed to do better with her therapy. So this nurse said that there isn't an illness where you can be normal 1 minute and then in an extreme pain the next. There's just no, it just doesn't exist. So I thought that was interesting. My nose is itching. Doesn't that mean something when it comes into some money or, oh, why does it itch? I hope so. Let's, or somebody's talking about me. Which one is it? I don't know. Then they put on a gentleman by the name of Dr. Posie. Or was this a woman? No, this was the woman. There were two ER doctors, a male and a female. This is the female ER doctor at Johns Hopkins. So she told the jury the definition of differential diagnosis. And I'll explain it. I'll try to explain it to you. When you go into an emergency room, they don't know what's wrong with you, but they can put down what they think might be wrong with you. All the things that it could be. It could be a diagnosis that you came with, like CRPS. So, okay, we'll rule out CRPS. It could be. So he listed all the things that Maya, when she came to Johns Hopkins in October of 2016, could have had. She was having extreme abdominal pain. So it could have been constipation. So we're going to rule out constipation. CRPS, we're going to rule that out. Ketamine withdrawal and a UTI. That apparently that can cause abdominal pain. I had no idea. And some kind of psychogenic process. And by that, I mean something psychiatric. So, including Munchausen's by proxy. But she was very careful to say that all of this stuff is nothing you can rule out in an emergency room. An emergency room is just to treat your immediate symptom. She was in pain from her abdomen. So they can give her pain medication, but not the amount that mom was asking. Mom was asking for 1,500 milligrams of ketamine, which is a very, very high dose. And this doctor explained that in the ER, the only reason they use ketamine is to give it for a quick procedure. Like um, maybe you dislocated your shoulder, so they'll actually give you some propofol and a little ketamine, and then they'll put it back into place so you don't feel anything. And then, I mean, you feel it, but you're not going to remember it. So short acting, you know, for procedures. If you need an infusion of ketamine, and the mom told the doctor, she gets these IV infusions of ketamine. She had one yesterday with Dr. Hannah. It was 1,300 milligrams. So the ER doctor did what she was supposed to. She said, okay, well, we can't do that here in the emergency room. So they transferred her to the pediatric intensive care unit where they have monitors and nurses that are trained to monitor pain medication and infusions, and basically will let the ICU doctors deal with mom. So that was the emergency room doctor. Now this doctor actually did call Dr. Hannah's office and confirmed everything the mother was saying. Yes, she got the infusion. Here's how much she got, and that was one of the reasons they really weren't pushing the Munchausen by proxy in the ER. They just, she had talked to Dr. Hannah, so they put her in the ICU so she could have an infusion. But she said that Berta, I think of Berta. Hey, Berta. Berta was one of my subscribers. Beata, they said, was being very obstinate. No, this is what she wanted. She wasn't going to settle for anything else. And anyway, okay, so the next nurse was in the pediatric intensive care unit. And this woman was so believable. She was on the stand for a long time. The jury had a lot of questions. This jury is so engaged with this case. They must ask her 10 questions at least. And most of the time when the jury does get to ask questions, it's only one or two, if at all. But this jury's really engaged. So this woman, she has 16 years experience. At the time that she was Maya Kowalski's bedside nurse, she was also a charge nurse, but she was the nurse, once the emergency room physician transferred her to the PICU, which is Pediatric Intensive Care Unit, this was the nurse that admitted her. So she had to go through the admission process. And she explained to the jury, this admission process takes hours, and probably at least 2 hours. There are pages and pages and pages of stuff that you have to go through and ask and everything. And she said, Mom was right here. Your computer's here. Here's mom. Here's mom. And she's asked, and she realized, hey, mom's a nurse. I get it. So they're doing the admission together. Maya, she said, was on the bed. Now, this is not a bed that has a regular mattress in any intensive care unit. The beds, how do I describe it? They're like air mattresses. Because they're trying to protect your skin, for people that are on ventilators long term and they need to be turned. And these are just way more comfortable beds, and they do protect you from having pressure points on your body. But she said Maya was on her knees moving around on this bed, she said, which takes an incredible amount of strength to move around on one of these beds. I can attest to that. I've been in a hospital where they had me on one of these beds and I thought I was going to scream because I was trying to sleep, and every like hour you'd hear this thing, filling up with air. I don't know what it was doing, but it was so loud and noisy, and I'm like, ugh, I didn't think it was that comfortable. Anyway, so one of the things you do on admission is you take the vital signs of your patient. Well, when she went to do the blood pressure, Beata, the mom, said, no, 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 she's in too much pain. You can do the blood pressure, but you're going to have to pre-medicate herself before you do it. And this nurse is like, what? I don't pre-medicate patients for blood pressures. So she just didn't take the blood pressure. I mean, that's a ridiculous request. I'm just saying, as a nurse, that is a ridiculous request. So then she said, Maya's behavior, because, not only did she admit her that day, but she was around. She was a day shift nurse. She worked 12 hours. She was around a lot of days where Maya and Beata were there, and she said Maya's behavior would change when mom was around. When Beata came in, she would shut down and she would start withdrawing. And she said it was a very drastic change. She said Beata was very agitated. She was throwing out the F bomb word, as was Maya. Maya was 9 years old, or 10 by then, I don't know, 9 or 10, throwing out the F bomb. I want my effing pain medication. actually, she said, I want my effing sedation. She says, I have never in my entire career, before then or afterwards, never had a child, a 9 or 10-year-old child, ask me for effing sedation. Never even asked me for sedation. She said, kids don't do that. They'll say, oh, my tummy hurts, my arm hurts. They don't say, give me my effing sedation. Good Lord. Then, when they were on rounds one day, when they change shift, the doctors each day, they do rounds and they have the residents with them. And so they're making rounds one day. Beata actually called the doctor an effing a hole in front of everybody. So they were all a little stunned. So, one of the things she said that I thought was really interesting while she was admitting Maya that day, Beata and Jack, mom and dad, were at a meeting with the hospital. And Maya told this nurse, I'm tired of all these lies. My life is a lie. And she started to ask her, she was, what do you mean by that? And she started to ask her, Beata came in the room and she just shut down. Maya shut down. She never brought it up again, but she charted it because she felt it was such a significant statement. I think so too. I mean, oh my God. I'm tired of all these lies. My life is a lie. You see what I mean this defense is really, really compelling, really compelling. She said Maya would be laying there, very comfortable, almost falling asleep, and Beata would go over and wake her up and say, are you in any pain? And then she would look at the nurse and go, don't you see she's in pain? And the nurse says, no, I don't see that she's in pain. She's on the monitor. Her heart rate is normal. Her blood pressure is normal. Her respiratory rate is normal. She doesn't look like she's in pain to me. As a nurse, we're trained that one of the signs of pain, not only you have to listen to your patient, what they're telling you, of course, but when you're in a lot of pain, your heart rate will speed up, your respiration will speed up. And she explained to the jury that if you've got a normal resting heart rate and respiratory rate, you don't want to give them pain medication because one of the side effects of pain medication is to lower the respiratory rate and heart rate. And she didn't want her to bottom out, so no, I don't think she's in pain. Interesting, huh? Very, very interesting stuff. So then, as if that wasn't compelling enough, they put on the rehab doctor from Tampa General. Now, this is a different hospital. She had gone for some inpatient rehab at Tampa General, and the doctor felt like her symptoms were not consistent with CRPS diagnosis. He said, it's complex regional pain syndrome. Her pain was global, just generalized everywhere. That's not CRPS, according to this doctor. He said she'd be eating cookies in the bed, but then in rehab, when you ask her to mimic those same muscle movements that you would use to eat a cookie, she couldn't do it. Um, he didn't feel like there was any physiological reason or explanation for her pain complaints. And he said, I've treated CRPS patients in my practice, all different ages, not a lot. He said about 20 over his career. But he felt like this was definitely psychogenic. And by psychogenic, I mean there's some psychiatric reason that this is happening. It's either the mom or the child or both. Then they put on a doctor Rasenberger. This was from the Lurie Children's Hospital. These are all hospitals that Maya has been to. This is what is so compelling about this, because they're all describing the same thing. This was another ER doctor when she came up to Chicago. Beata took her to Chicago. This is where they were all from. This is where Beata and Jack met and fell in love, and Beata got her nursing degree and blah blah blah. So she goes over to Lurie Children's Hospital, and she wants a second opinion. So she takes her in through the ER. Now, this ER doctor, his testimony was almost identical to the other ER doctor from St. Joseph's Children's Hospital. Yeah, almost identical. Same thing. We have differential diagnoses. And he said her behavior just wasn't consistent with CRPS. So everybody said that she would have her feet in a neutral position, but then they would turn in when mom was in the room or somebody was talking to her about that. They would turn in. So he did admit her because he again thought, this is he can an emergency room doctor really they don't have the time, the tools, the staff to diagnose anybody. They can treat what your immediate symptoms are, and that's what he did. And then he got her a bed, and they were able to examine her. And I expect we're going to hear from some people during her admission there. Yeah, I haven't finished. As of now, I'm listening to a detective that is on the stand, a Sarasota police detective. I am really dying to hear what she has to say. But there's always Monday. I'm going to put that into Monday's episode. Aren't you lucky? Now, Monday is the Charlie Adelson case. Now, I don't think it'll start on Monday because they got to do jury selection. So we may not see the beginning of the Adelson case until the end of the week. And I am going to try to focus on that case. I will continue uh, bringing you updates on the Kowalski case, but I'm not going to start any other trials. I want to focus on Adelson and Kowalski. The judge mentioned on Friday that he thought, the Kowalski judge, he could have this case finished by the end of the first week of November, like November 7th. Yeah. So we have about 3 more weeks of the civil case, but that's okay. You know what case I would love to see? The Georgia case. But what happens with that's the Georgia trial against President Trump for voter fraud and manipulation of voters at the polls. I don't know what all that kind of stuff. But every time they get ready to go to trial with somebody, they plead guilty. So the trial that was supposed to start on Monday for two of President Trump's lawyers has now they pled guilty. They both pled guilty. So I don't think there's a trial starting on Monday. But the thing that I liked is that the judge in the New York case that Donald Trump is involved in fined him $5,000, which I know is nothing for Donald Trump, but they fined him $5,000 for violating a gag order. And it was a very loosey goosey gag order. Just told him to knock it off, stop demeaning his staff. Well, he put a picture of his law clerk, or he did some demeaning picture of the law clerk. I mean, how infantile is that? I mean, you're running for president, and really, you're stooping that low. Anyway, he got fined $5,000 and was told, if you do it again, you're going to jail. Oh, God. Wouldn't you just love to see him in an orange jumpsuit? Oh, my God, I would. All right, let's get to the Friday dance. You've been waiting for it. Okay, ready? Everybody out of your chair. I know it's Saturday, but get up. Oh, by the way, I got my first Timu thing that I actually liked. I got to show you guys. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Are these fabulous? Oh my God. Fabulous. They're not really dancing shoes, but hey. I know. You're like, what the hell? Please don't unsubscribe. Okay. It's just a little thing I do once a week to celebrate, the end of the week. I love you all. Tomorrow I will be live at 11 a.m. for coffee and chat. If you want to talk about the trials, if you want to show me what your crafts are, put a picture of whatever work you're working on in the Crafting Journey Facebook group, and I'll show it off during the live, and we'll have a good time. I'm going to have a special guest tomorrow from Diamond Painting Drills, the owner, Alyssa. She's going to be on. We're going to have some giveaways. Might win some of them diamonds she's got. Yeah. So tune in. She's got some new stuff in stock, and you're not going to want to miss it. So I'll see you tomorrow at 11. Bye.